Go gamers. What's going on? Episode 27 coming at you. Oh my god, damn it. My let's pretend we didn't see that. Nobody saw
Bro's
that.
breaking out of the box.
Nobody said we're getting out.
He's going crazy. Holy shit.
We're breaking out, boys. This is the time.
Damn.
I'm over here tripping off of that gamers.
This is XP Share episode 27 Unhinged.
Yeah. Out the box. Breaking the fourth wall.
Coming at you
We don't
live.
give a
What's going on, guys?
Shit, man. Chilling, bro. Say cheers to everybody in
How
the
y'all
chat and
doing?
whatnot.
What's y'all been up to? I feel
Oh,
like I
damn.
haven't talked to you guys in like a week and a half.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Dude, I feel like, not gonna lie, I started playing PAX D last week. Dropped on Tuesday. Obviously, completely forgot about SideQuest.
All right. So I don't know much about that game at all. I'm gonna need you to tell me what it is.
Billy, we did not have the pre-show. You're good. We're good. We're just now starting.
Yeah, I'm out of town right now. I'm not at home at my setup, so that's why we didn't do the pre-show.
So PAX Day is a medieval sandbox MMO that's insanely grindy and more or less what New World was expected to be in the beginning, minus
Really?
the open world PvP. It is so grindy that if you don't play with at least 20 plus people like I am right now, you will not have a good time. You will take absolutely forever to progress in anything, and it just won't be as fun. So it's not a solo game by any means. They just dropped early access on Tuesday. Of course, it's combat's pretty clunky, not much content, but as much as it triggers me to hear it every time and say it, it has potential.
It looks very pretty. I'm looking at the game on Steam right now. There's some screenshots that look really, really nice.
It is very pretty. When you have everything up to max and you're not like completely rubber banding everywhere, the game's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a picture here of them like in a forest at like nighttime, and there's like moon rays or like light rays shining down through the trees, and it looks pretty fucking sick. It looks really nice. And then there's also a picture of this dude with this little tiny ass axe. Like, what you gonna do with that, bro? What you gonna do with that? You ain't got none with that.
It's not a solo game, not a little tiny group game. It's you either have a lot of people or you're that like solo small group that just kind of like allies with all the big groups so they can get shit. Currently there's like it. Let's put it this way: there's pretty much four types of iron, starting at like it goes from impure to I forget what the next one is, but the third one is pure, and then there's a fourth tier. So like you have not only do you have like these big tiers of course like copper, iron, basic wood, tier 2 wood, but each of those tiers has their own like 2 or 3 tiers inside of that. So it's insanely grindy.
Yay.
But
Okay.
I'll have to post some pictures of our little setup. A lot of our boys have been going super ham with the building, looking really nice. We got our own. We basically just like took this corner peninsula and just made it our own. We got this giant gate going on. We built a bridge over to basically like the starting spawn point. So like we have everything connected, and we're progressing pretty good. I'd like to think we're at least like the top 3 within our like area. And mind you, the area of this game, what did I can't remember. I told Juice a long time ago. What did I say it was? It was like 3 or 5 times Skyrim or something like that. Like this, it's massive.
Probably did.
I
That would been a
I
while back though.
I
'Cause
definitely told you, but I don't remember what I told you.
I remember signing up for PAX Day. This was at least a year ago,
Yo,
so
what up,
it's been
Dodge?
a long time in the making.
Oh yeah, it's I mean it's out on Steam now. I think Founders is like $40. But again, don't go in expecting anything pretty, anything polished. Combat is super bad right now. But again, it has potential.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, I almost want to get it just because these gifs look really fucking pretty, dude. Like,
Yeah, game
I'm
looks really
watching
good.
like these guys standing out in this field cutting down trees, and the grass is like swaying with the wind. That's where I want to be right now. That's I can't think of where anywhere else I'd rather be
That
right now. Like, that's it, man. That's beautiful.
that might be a little generated because they don't exactly have the weather yet. But then again,
Wait,
I've
wait,
been
wait,
playing.
wait, 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 wait. You're telling me that there's okay, wait. Go to this page right now. Scroll down in the description and look at the gifts that they made and look at the one above everyone matters and watch the way that grass waves. Tell me if that's fake or not.
Wait,
If
where
they're
am I
putting
going?
fake shit in their store description, I got a problem.
Where am I going under?
The description there, you go down, there's a section that says everyone matters, and they're like chopping down trees, and then it cuts to a point where like they're building some stuff and the grass is swaying. Does it actually look like that in game?
Let's see.
It looks like it's taken in game. The animations look a little janky.
Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't say it's that in depth. Maybe it's a little generated, but then again, I've been playing on low settings, fucking performance DLSS, just so I can get a decent amount of frames. So I would
Yeah.
not be one to ask about graphics for right
Dang.
now.
I don't know, man. If it does look like that though, I'm in. Like that looks incredible. If
uh,
the combat sucks, I'm gonna have a problem, obviously, but like
the
it
combat
looks cool.
combat's pretty fucking janky right now, but it's manageable. It's not like super infuriating. You just kind of gotta get used to the clunkiness right now. If
Mhm.
you want, I can at least send you an invite to the Discord we're in right now and just like kind of stream it, and you can see if you want to check it out or not, because
I'll
it's
uh I'll let you know if I decide to. I got so much shit I've been on. I also have been busy. Obviously Destiny grind is crazy. It's starting to finally die down. I've got a lot of the things done that I need to get done. Um some little like stragglers here and there. Every Tuesday's new story stuff, so there's that too. Um but shit, man. Elden Ring DLC just came out. I've been on that.
oh, is that why
Um
everybody's playing that again?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DLC
That
just
makes
came out Friday.
that makes sense.
I got I got like 6 hours in it after yesterday. That was big. Um, Started playing one of those new like cozy ass, grindy ass um life sim games called My Time at Sandrock. I'm playing that with my partner. We've got shit, how many hours? I've got like 14 hours in that, and that's been really fun. Um, some Fallout 76, which I know we're gonna talk about a little bit here soon. Um, there's been some shit to do, bro.
I know. I need to get back on Fallout 76. I didn't put enough time into it, and I feel like I didn't give it the proper, the proper run on my first go round.
It's
So
it's it's always gonna be the same Fallout 76 that released, you know, like there's always gonna be bits of it that are gonna be ass. And those bits kind of make me sad.
sure.
Um, Honestly, the biggest thing, and I think I've talked about this before, but the biggest thing is like you'll be playing and you'll go to do a mission with somebody, and it'll tell you this is an instance quest area, and you can either go in it with your party leader and not get progress for the quest, or you can go in solo and get progress. So you can only get it's like
That's
a
pretty ass.
fucking like at least like 30% of the game cannot be played multiplayer. You have to do it by yourself.
Okay.
And you can go in with people, but you don't get progress. So you have to run it again afterwards. And it's awful. Why would you make a multiplayer game where you can't play it together? It's like a
What?
huge chunk of the game. Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's so dumb. And so I've been playing it with this friend of mine, and it was like every Saturday for a while. And we would just come to these huge portions where it's like, yo, this is hype. I'm excited to do this. And then you go up to the door and it gives you the prompt. And suddenly it kills all of your hope, all of your
Mhm.
dreams, all of the thoughts of fun and excitement that you had. You're like, oh, sick. I have to do this alone. So it's harder. And I don't get to do it with my friends. So all the hype is gone of us being able to do it together. It's awful. It's shitty. Um,
So
I will
bad.
say, like, the loot feels okay. It doesn't feel like anything special, really. It feels super, super, super grindy. The more I play it, the less impressed with it I am. But again, if you're feeling like you want that Fallout experience and you want to be able to coexist in a world with other people, there's no other way to do it. There was like a Fallout 4 multiplayer mod coming for a while that has been canceled, and that was going to be the definitive way to experience something like that, provided you didn't want people out in the world. Um, but it's gone now, so 76 is the only way you get it, and it's sadly right in that little fucking spot where it's like it's the only way to get that experience.
Yeah.
But it's also so flawed in so many ways. Um, we just saw a new DLC got surprise dropped at the Summer Games Fest. Um, and it's okay so far. I haven't gotten to explore any of it really. But it's the first expansion to the actual game map, because everything they've had up till now was this system where you would go and you would finish some shit up to like level 20 or 30, and then you would hop in a plane and you would go to a different map entirely. So all of these expansions took place in an entirely different place, and then you'd come back to the main world, which is kind of lame because all of your base building happens in the main world. Um, so they finally expanded on Appalachia, which whatever. It I haven't gotten to see it. I mean, the part on the map looks like it could look pretty cool. It looks like it's pretty decently big, but again, I mean, you're looking at like Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3 level graphics. And I really find it hard to get hyped about anything that looks like it's like over a decade old when it just came out last week. Um, it's I don't know. I don't know. Jury's out. I'm excited to hear what you
Hmm.
think about it if you do end up giving it time. But I don't know if I'd go in expecting it to be like this huge turnaround on how you feel about it. If you're a real sucker for the Fallout formula, then you're probably gonna feel a lot more strongly about it than I am, because I could take or leave it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get an itch for it, and that's why I come back. But I'm starting to think that if I weren't playing with people, um, there's no reason why I'd ever play 76 over just modding up 4 and going in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of the
Fair enough.
whole no multiplayer progress kind of just beats it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the whole point of it is to be a multiplayer version of Fallout, and they're like, actually, mm,
Actually,
you're widowy, don't get to play multiplayer. And it's like, okay, sick. Congratulations. What is the point of me playing your game now? What is the point? I get to build a base with people, I guess. I get to go loot and do like all the other non-instance content together. But anytime you have to go in and have a discussion that changes the state of the world or the way the characters respond to you, you have to go alone. And it's like, wow, congratulations. This makes a lot of fucking sense.
Whenever things like this happen, I always tend to think about what it was like being in that product planning meeting when some people sat down and said, "Hey, look, we're gonna create this game where friends can team up with their friends and go tackle the world together. One thing you guys should know, though," and then they drop the bad news, and it's like someone has to be in that room that says, "What the? No, we can't ship this."
Yeah.
But somehow these things end up just happening anyways. It's like this is totally counterintuitive, by the way, to why we even making the game in the first place.
Yep.
But fuck it, they're gonna play anyways. So
You know what I think it is? I really think that last part is exactly it. I think we're seeing the downfall, the collapse, the aftermath of all of these studio executives looking at the success of live service games from over a decade ago. Because as we know, all of the big live service games right now, with very few exceptions, are games that have been the popular live service games for a decade. League of Legends, Apex, Warzone, all these fucking games. And Fortnite. Yeah, exactly. And we saw for a while, the first evolution of this was that every game had to have a multiplayer component. And some of those were bangers. A lot of them weren't. It really happened during like the 360 era, the PS3 era, back when we were seeing like Gears of War had multiplayer, and that ended up being a banger. But like there were, for every one Gears of War, there were 10 games that were fucking awful, that had a bunch of resources dedicated to them that sucked.
Yeah.
And then after that, they saw these live service games and they're like, we need to find a way to make a live service game for all of these IPs because they're the moneymaker. And so they sat down and they said, make a multiplayer game, make microtransactions, give us money. And we've seen that manifest itself in really terrible ways in Redfall, which pretty much tanked that studio and tanked a bunch of studios with it.
Yep.
We've seen that manifest itself very rarely in ways that have really worked. And then we have seen it kind of sort of work in ways that are somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to be totally honest. I feel like every single Bethesda MMO offering, being ESO and being Fallout 76, have been some byproduct of that really awful movement where I think some fucking dude in a boardroom somewhere went to the people that are making the games and they said, make us an online version of this game where you can siphon money from people. And they said, okay, dope. And so they sat down and they're like, what's this cheapest, easiest way we can make this happen? And so then they made ESO, which is like all of the worst parts of Skyrim with multiplayer components in it. And then they made Fallout 76, which is like all the worst parts of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. It's like Fallout 4 systems looking like it was created in the Fallout 3 era. And just tossed out there. And it's like it feels like it was made with the intent of making money, not the intent of making a good game. Because both of these games have engines that don't make sense for what they're meant to do. And if they were intending to create a good product from the start, I can't help but believe that they would have done more planning and made more concessions to make it a better system early on. They have things that just don't work, hence the systems in Fallout 76 that you can't play with your friends, or there's like no pickpocketing. There's like half of these things that make Fallout you can't fucking do, like in ESO specifically with pickpocketing. You can't pickpocket shit. It's not a part of the game. It's like, congratulations. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like bare bones, stripped down versions of these games made so that you could play with your friends, and then they just put the bare minimum effort in the entire time. And it just, to me, it doesn't, there's nothing passionate or full of love about either of these games. They just exist to take people's money.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't ever foresee any of them getting any huge updates that are going to make them like more enticing. At least they stuck with Fallout 76. They could have dropped it, I guess. It's fine that they decided to keep going and like make progress on it, but we're not ever going to get any sort of like Fallout 76 where they go through and they update the graphics or like update the engine or whatever, not some shit we're seeing with like Final Fantasy 14 or like World of Warcraft where they're trying really hard to keep their game, special and full of care and all this stuff. We're not going to get any of that with those. It's so clear that they're like these weird little side projects that are meant to garner revenue in a time where all they're doing otherwise is trying to cook on something in the background desperately that's not going to be the next fucking Starfield, and where they're trying to re-release Skyrim for the 15th fucking time while they spend 20 years trying to cook the next Elder Scrolls game. It's like they needed something there to be like, well, we still need money while we're working on everything else.
Yeah.
It's just so clear to me.
So sometimes I wish I wasn't like I didn't play so many games over my lifetime just so I wasn't such a fucking pessimist all the time.
I hear you.
Like just ignorance is
Yeah.
bliss. Let me play some fucking shitty game and actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now here we are. We're just like we played so many fucking games. We're just like we could call shit before it's shit.
This is true. I feel like the only place where AAA developers are putting good work in is in VR. Anytime that I've seen a VR game from a AAA developer, I'm like, you guys did a good job with this. I'm impressed because there are a lot of shitty, really bad VR games out there right now.
Yeah,
However,
the bar's low, bro.
That's the thing. Like the bar is low, and I have low expectations because it's a new technology. We're not expecting you guys to get this flawless, on your first try. But like I always go back to this game, but I keep riding Half-Life Alyx. Like I'm literally fucking galloping on that game just because of how amazing it is, and
Yeah.
and it's just, it's possible if you really care about it, you put in the time, and you're not worrying about impressing stakeholders. You can put together a masterpiece. So it's just one of those things. I don't know. There's always going to be, and you're right. Like the fact that we play so many games, and we're kind of in this early access era of gaming. I'd probably say starting with games like H1, for example. Like this, it kind of started this like early access. Everything is so early access now. So we keep seeing these games, we're getting excited about it, and then it lets us down, and and then it's just this cycle that keeps happening. But then when a larger developer does the same thing, then it's even more frustrating because like we have higher expectations for you. Like we know you guys can do better, and it's just not happening. So I don't know. We'll get out of this. We'll get out of this spell at some point. It's just a matter of time.
Maybe another decade.
Yeah.
Bell actually brings up a decent point too, which I'm sure we can talk a little bit about. She says, "I wonder if the reason these crafty games are being produced is because they're asking the wrong people via polls or something, and they're showing up to people that are like, yeah, I love this or hate this, and you get stuff that's questionable if the general player base actually likes it or hates it." So I think there's kind of like that. I think there's a general like again that like an 80-20 split where 80% is in the ignorance is bliss category, and
Yeah.
I just want to play a game to play a game. I don't play a lot of games. And then there's that 20% like us who's been playing games for our entire fucking lives who get overshadowed or not listened to as a priority because the masses says, "Oh yeah, this is fine. This is cool. Don't change. You don't need to change this." It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think it's part of that, honestly.
You got to think like a really vast majority of gamers are not like us. A really, really vast majority of gamers are not on the internet talking about the games they're playing. They're not like, at least beyond like getting on Facebook and like sending out like, yo, those Call of Duty games last night were sick, bro. Like that's most of them. They don't get on like podcasts like us and talk about this shit. They don't sit in threads on Twitter and Reddit and talk about games and updates and like what was good and what was bad. They're happy to just come home from their 9 to 5 at the time, like every day, and get 1 hour between their families and their responsibilities to like sit back, like drink a beer, play a couple Call of Duty games. That's it. Like when you play an hour every couple days or an hour a day, it's a different experience from us where we play games all the fucking time. You know, we're content creators, streamers as part of our lives. We're acutely aware of the little things like not only like what goes into making a good game, but also like the cost analysis of what it means for us to buy a game. Like if I'm going and I'm spending $70 on a game now, there's a bar of quality that I expect. And a lot
Mhm.
of times people don't think about it like that. I've seen a lot of people on the internet talk about games in this way where it's like you know, I want to make sure I get at least a dollar per hour of entertainment out of a game, or like $2 per hour. And if I do, then I'm happy. And there are issues with that. I think there's problems. But that's like us. Like we think about it in terms of all of these like really minute, nuanced ways. And people that are coming home and playing games, like playing Call of Duty or whatever, they don't really think about it like that. They're happy to
No.
buy whatever they want whenever they want it, and they're just like, "I'm happy to be here." And
Yep.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, those people are the backbone of the industry. If we didn't have those people, we wouldn't have games. We wouldn't be this far along. Um, however, I think that to bring it around to Bell's question, um, I think that there's definitely some stuff coming in from polls for sure. I don't think though that the people that are answering those polls are the people that are giving like weird answers to them. The only people that are going to fill those out are going to be people like us, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they're getting offered some sort of money to fill those out, you know, in which case everyone will fill out some sort of poll for a little bit of, you know, dosh. I really think it's the same reason why Blizzard's tanked recently. I think it's that it's just greed. I think these people look at what brings in the money. You know, they've got these I mean, there are entire companies in the industry, not just in gaming, but across all different types of media, whose entire purpose is to study the decisions made by the average consumer. These people are not filling
Mhm.
out polls, but they're being studied regardless. They're having their data collected in every sort of game in every sort of way. There are entire teams on things like Call of Duty who sit down and come up with ways to track player behavior in those games without you ever knowing or telling them they can. Um, and they take this data and they figure out, you know what? The average player really likes this or they really like that. And that's exactly why we get things like constant skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty. It's why we see all these weird decisions that these game devs will not budge on and will refuse to discuss because they know that it will sell more copies of a game. Because if someone is working a 9 to 5, some sort of like terrible labor job, and they come home and they load up Call of Duty and they get into a lobby, and the 3 games they play for the night are where they get totally shit on by some dude that is not
Never
in
got
their
off.
skill bracket. Yeah, exactly. Because it's random, then they're not going to want to get back on because they're going to say, if that's how I'm going to spend my nights, why would I play it? Um, and so if you do skill-based matchmaking, you are queued with people that are right around your level. So you're never going to get those games where you're getting smashed by someone a million times better than you. Um, and for that same reason, I think that's why we're seeing these decisions getting made in the industry where we're seeing executives look at things like League of Legends, like Fortnite, and they're saying, hey, we need a multiplayer component. We need an MMO. We need a live service game with microtransactions. You know, all it took was Blizzard to release Diablo Immortal and make $1 million fucking dollars off of these mobile gaming whales to turn around and say, actually, let's ruin every IP we've ever had and not think about how it's going to take us multiple years to recover not just our games but our brand identity. um and it's I really do think it is. I think it's about money. I think it's just like them following trends and numbers and graphs and not taking into account what the devs themselves are saying, not taking into account what the creatives are saying or what the players are saying. I think it's just I don't know what some numbers guy in the sales department said that everyone would love.
Yeah.
You know, Steve Jobs, I want to say it was like they said back in 1995, had an interview where he talked about the difference between product guys, sales guys and marketing guys. And he said that and this is in '95. He said that we're going in a direction now where we're stepping away from the product people and we're focusing more on the sales and marketing people.
Yeah.
And if those people drive the future of your product, it can go away from thinking about the user. Whereas if you let product people drive the future of a product, that will in turn help create just a product that shows the people that you're listening, in a sense, right? Data is great.
Create a better product.
And it's awesome to have data, and you need data to understand how people are using it, what they like, what they don't like. But it also kind of takes away from that like human factor at the same time if you just focus on the data all the time. Now, to your point though, it's kind of nice when I go visit my brother in Sacramento and he's playing Call of Duty and I just see nothing but fucking bums in his lobby and I'm like, give me the controller. I'm gonna go crazy right now, right? And then when I go home and play Call of Duty, it's literally Skunk and all of his buddies in the lobby like, what's up, dog? Like, we got demon tier gear on. You're not getting a kill. Good luck.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying for people like myself who are above average skill level, and then when you only play demons all day long, and it's like there are days where I get on and I don't feel like I have to crank up my headphones, sit close to my fucking monitor, be sitting here like sweatbands, fucking G Fuel over here, and everything. Like I don't want to have to be like that.
Got the control freaks out.
Yeah. Like being like having to play like that every single time I get on is pretty annoying. There are days where I'm in the mood for that, and it's cool. Like, all right, I'll pull up, so who wants to smoke? But there are days, like you said, I get home from work and I'm done, and I just want to chill. And so as a result, I end up not turning on Call of Duty because I know what to expect when I turn that game on. And it, as of recently, I'm actually more likely to turn on XDefiant because there is no skill-based matchmaking. I can just turn that on, and it'll be like every other game. Every other game will be sweaty, but I can come to this game and like roll kids, and it just kind of keeps that even balance throughout the day.
Yeah, dude.
So I mean, I feel it, man. It's just that's one of those discussions that I don't think it's ever going to change. I think you're always going to have some people who say skill-based matchmaking is the way, and others who say no, we're not going to do that. And back in the day, I want to say like the Black Ops days. I'm pretty sure they said he said I want to smoke. I'm pretty sure matchmaking used to be based on your internet connection, like your
connection-based matchmaking.
Yeah, and that was cool, man. I kind of miss that stuff, but
I miss it. I mean, that's why XDefiant feels so good. I mean, I wish other parts of the game felt better.
Sure.
Not that I think it feels bad. I do like XDefiant.
It could feel better.
It kind of like it's missing the secret sauce, and I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm not crazy into FPS games like I used to be, but like, I mean, to talk about, what we've been driven to, I will never boot up like a Call of Duty game, a Valorant or whatever on my own if it's my first thought about what to go play. I'm always these days thinking about like, I'm gonna do not a multiplayer. I'm gonna do a single player game, or like if I'm doing something with friends, that's different. Then maybe we'll go play Valorant. But even then, that's fucked up because my MMR is so high that I end up pulling my friends who are just decent at the game or that are new to the game into games with people that are fucking demons. And it's like, this is not fun for anybody. But it does keep people coming back. It keeps people playing the game when they're not thinking about it, when they're more casual, because, they're thinking like, oh my God, that game was so close. You're not getting slammed, but you're also not necessarily slamming. And so I don't know. It's a whole thing. I really think it's about your awareness of it, and it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's so dumb because the trend in the market right now where everything is numbers focused and money focused, and where we've entered into this era where everything is focused on growth. Everything has to grow. I mean, we just saw this stuff with Microsoft where they went in and they dropped Tango, which is insane. Why would you drop Tango Gameworks, of all fucking studios? The studio that made The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, that just made your greatest fucking hit in a long time, Hi-Fi Rush, and you just disband them. You get rid of them. You don't even try to sell them to somebody. This fucking masterwork of a company by Shinji Mikami, and you just dissolve it. after you just went through all the trouble of buying them and talking about how they're going to be a great addition to your first party developers, and then you turn around and you won't even give an answer as to why you did it. And they're just one of the few that got dissolved as a part of this fucking Microsoft acquisition. But regardless, we're seeing not just consumers suffer at the hands of these decisions. We're watching developers suffer at the hands of these, with widespread layoffs that don't show any signs of slowing down, that just seem to get worse and worse with every quarter. It doesn't help anybody but the people that are making all the money from the studios. The devs are as unhappy as they've ever been. There's zero job security nowadays. I mean, Tango proved that you can make banger after banger. You can make critically acclaimed games. You can make games that are loved by critics and people alike and still lose. It's like the fucking Kobayashi Maru of the fucking gaming industry. You can make every right decision and still lose.
Yeah.
And that's just because some fucking old fucks in a boardroom somewhere have decided that they're going to follow the numbers that Steven Marketing cooked up because he studied the trends, and they're going to just tell people what to do. And very rarely we get an opportunity where the stars align and we see that, oh, these people can cook fucking fire if we give them an opportunity. And I've talked about it a lot, but I'm going to talk about it again. Destiny 2, The Final Shape. I'm telling you, the perfect opportunity for this fucking game. They delayed it so that they could add a bunch of shit because they knew that if they didn't, all of these executives would get pushed out from Bungie because Sony was going to hit the flush button. They were going to fucking flush the toilet and kick them all out into the sewers. And so the executives were like, fuck it, pull out all the stops, do whatever you need to do so we get our bonuses and our stock buybacks continue to go through. And they did, and they cooked. And that expansion came out, and it's getting 10 out of 10s across the board. And there are people saying it's one of the greatest gaming experiences to ever have been created ever. And that happened because we got a specific experience, a specific set of circumstances in which these greedy fucks had to take their fingers out of the pot and got to let people do what they wanted to do because it would make a good game.
Yeah, imagine,
And
right?
I think that's the only example we need. I mean, it happens occasionally. It doesn't happen as much as it should. But what more evidence do you need to know that the problem is them? I mean, when you let the devs cook, you get good games. People have been saying it for years. Indie games are where the beautiful food is at. If you want to eat good, you go play an indie game.
Yep.
But we're seeing too in the upper echelon, one of the biggest games of all time just had an opportunity where they really fucked up their last thing. And we know exactly what happened, in that the executives had to take a step back. Otherwise, they were going to lose their shit. And suddenly it's the greatest expansion in this game that people thought would never be able to live up to, the hype for, suddenly has lived up to it. They've been able to cook. They made something incredible. And the only thing that changed was the people that are calling the shots. I don't think there's ever been a moment where it has been more clear what the problem is. But the worst part is those people run the fucking system. There's no changing it. So
you gotta make sure
that just solidifies, because like it's the same formula with indie games too. And like you said, indie games are fucking amazing. Why is that? Because you don't have greedy, money hungry executives calling dumb shots.
Yep.
It's developers' passion projects. That's why they're so good.
Yeah. I mean, it really is an argument about gaming as an art form versus gaming as a good and service. Like when you let people cook and make something based on what is good and what people are going to enjoy, you get masterpieces. And when you cook something based on numbers and what you think is going to sell, you get, at best, lukewarm shit.
That and transparency. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was looking at Bell's comment about, potentially, there could be some scenarios where these companies might have reached out to us and, asking for feedback about what we like about the game, what we don't like, and it is very possible that we could miss some of these communications, right? So it's always it's a two-way. Communication is a two-way street. We recognize that, and that's possible.
Well,
If they're,
one
oh,
of
I'm sorry.
one of the things I do like about, again, most of the indie games, smaller games that are coming out, is like, if they want an opinion, if they want your feedback, they're gonna put it inside the game and say, this is how you access to give us feedback. No, like she said, like, nobody's gonna check their email.
Discord channels too.
Yeah, Discord, exactly. Transparency. Like, one of the reasons I'm still, I wouldn't say hopeful for PAX Day, but kind of still on it. They're transparent as fuck right now. They, of course, day one of an MMO gonna be completely dog shit. They didn't come out with some blatant statement like, "Oh yeah, server were bad. We didn't know what was going on. Fucky wucky shit happened." They dropped images of the server load. Like, here guys, this is what happened. This is why it happened. This is how we fixed it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
complains.
I like that. Yeah, and it's like, how can you complain? Like, we're giving you the full image so you see we messed up. We're gonna work on it.
Exactly.
That's true. Now, if there's one game where I would love an email or some way to tell them how they can make this game even better than it already is, because it is technically good for what they do. It is a good game. It's State of Decay. And I know State of Decay 3 is coming out, and Justin, like, we played 1 and 2, loved it, fantastic game.
I was actually gonna say, like, looking at this list, like, the big difference between companies and publishers shoving games into your face versus those that work in the fucking background and just like, we're done, here you go. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Hey, I swear this game's gonna be fucking good. It's gonna be sick. We're building hype. All of a sudden, fucking, example we're saying right now. Hey guys, State of Decay, we're done. Here you go. It's probably gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to hype up some bullshit that they're trying to pull a blanket over.
Yeah. I just want to make State of Decay would be one of my favorite games to play, and I'd probably put way more time into it if it was truly open world.
Yep, I agree.
If it was truly an open world game, I would play the shit out of it.
I've been thinking, man. I've been thinking.
Man, I mean, like, what you can do within those instances is really cool. And I think it's awesome. Like, everything down from having to clear out the nest to, oh my God, two of our settlers are fighting. I gotta go back and try to make them happy. All these are so cool. I love it. Just take all of those instances and make them make a baby. Just make them have sex, and they all come together into one big ass world. Oh my God! And have it so you can have multiple settlements across the entire map, dude. State of Decay would be so sick. That's the only thing I wish they would do. The only thing. Great game.
I'm telling you, if I had a developer on my side, somebody who could just, like, here's an idea, code the fuck out of it, bro, we wouldn't have to live in this bullshit anymore.
I would love to pull a Dr. Disrespect tomorrow if I could.
Yo, wait a minute. Let's not pull any Dr. Disrespects.
Oh gosh.
Dude. Did y'all hear what just happened?
Not that, Dr. Disrespect.
Let's not pull any Dr. Disrespects. Let's not. My alarm's going off. Let's chill out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. Yo.
Well, guys, we made it 27 episodes. Good noise.
Word.
Bro.
Yo, you didn't just do that.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, can we just cue the Not Like Us song right now?
Yeah, where's the delete the last 45 seconds? Shit.
Okay, so when I say that, I'm talking about making your own game with your own direction, not having to hear the bullshit of, surrounding you. Hire a team of people who are all like-minded and say, let's make a game for the gamers.
Mhm.
Fuck the bottom line. Let's make a game for gamers. That'd be amazing. Love to do that. But yeah,
True.
they not like us.
I mean, look at Baldur's Gate 3. That's
It's
a good
true.
example.
It's just
Yeah,
true.
I'm gonna be honest. Like
It's just
that's what
true.
happens when you don't look at industry trends, when you don't look at numbers, when you just cook based on what you know, what you intuit. And I'm gonna be honest to put a nail in the poll thing. I agree that maybe there's a salient point there about how like maybe gamers don't fill those out like they should, and that leads to poor data collection on the parts of these studios. But I'm gonna tell you something: those studios are collecting data regardless of the polls that you put in. And I'm also gonna tell you, if they wanted to collect data from us in ways that they think they're lacking, they would find another way to do it. They are totally happy with the systems that they have, and I think if everyone went and filled out one of these polls right now that they had in their emails and said we want this instead, I wouldn't change anything, because it just that's they got ways to collect data. I mean, there's millions upon millions of comments all over the internet that they can source, that they do source, that they go look for. They hear all these people talking directly to them on the internet, and they get all this information from places where they need it already. I don't think a poll is going to change anything. I think it's a good thought. Um I think that there's probably something to be said about like an olive branch between studios and gamers trying to figure out like, okay, this is what we actually want, and we need a confirmation that you're going to listen to us, and if this is what it takes, then we're going to do it for you. But the thing is I don't think we're there, and I think that the general consensus with these companies is that they're too greedy to give a shit about what we say we want. They are going to do what is going to make them the most money, because they know that we are the minority. They know that we are the vocal small community that is going to buy the games regardless because we're fucking addicted, and they know that we're not going to put in, you know, we're not going
Scratch
to
right now.
commit to shit like that. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's a nice thought. I don't think it'd go anywhere.
Yeah,
Rest-
there was a comment from Mutek earlier, talking about developers putting more time in VR games, or indie developers for that matter. And I wasn't necessarily saying earlier that indie developers weren't. I was just happy to see that it seems that AAA developers are putting more effort or more quality time into VR games than they are, their console IPs. Like, Ubisoft doing the Assassin's Creed game, which is
Yeah.
fire, by the way. If you haven't played it, it's really good. And then of course, Half-Life Alyx, things like that. It's good to see that happening. I mean, shout out to like the company that worked on like Boneworks, um, even Contractors, which isn't like the most beautiful game, but is still smooth and making really good progress in the VR community, the FPS community. So yeah.
Man, we got a couple decent ones coming out, dude. Dude, when I first saw that Doom trailer, oh my god.
Yeah, that
Um,
new Doom
Yeah.
game looks fucking sick, and I'm not even a huge Doom fan. But there's just something about it that just like tickled my fancy. I'm in.
you mean besides throwing a chainsaw shield?
Yeah, bro. Did you see like you know how many people how many game devs and creatives fucking slapped their palm on their head when they saw that these guys made a fucking gun that crunched up skulls and shot the fragments out as bullets?
Yeah.
It's a junk jet, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like,
It's
you
a
know how
junk
many
jet.
fucking people looked at that and were like, "Why didn't I think of that?" That's the most metal thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
That's so fucking nuts, dude.
It's incredible.
I
Yeah,
want to
no,
know
it-
what this Fragpunk game is though. I didn't see anything on that.
Yeah, I didn't
yeah.
see enough about it, but it looked like fun for sure.
I don't know if the game is going to truly stick, but it seems like a 5v5, potentially a hero shooter, where you can just alter the rules of the game at any point. I don't really know how they're going to balance it, but one of the things that they show, two of the things that they show in their trailer is the ability to like you can like activate a card that flips the map upside down.
Yep.
And so, again, not sure how that's going to play out, but it seems interesting to think about. I'm in the middle of this intense shootout. All of a sudden, everything's just like, ooh, I'm like, oh my god, like how do
Yeah.
you adjust to that type of change? And then of course there's your classic big head, which if you've played games since the '90s, that's always been a common, I guess, cheat. That at least that's how we used to categorize it back then.
Yeah.
So it basically seems like 5v5 FPS and just random cheats that you can do that are allowed. I don't know. Maybe there'll be like an aimbot cheat or like a wall hack cheat. So that way people don't have to worry about actually cheating in the game. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Um,
hell yeah. Well, actually, no, fuck that. I think I'd fucking uninstall that game. But I am excited. Anytime I see a game like that that's willing to shake shit up, I'm
Yeah.
super in. But the thing is like a lot of times they will come up with these things. They'll think tank it up and they'll be like, what if we did this? And they come up with a really creative idea, and the execution is lacking in one way or another. Like, look at Lawbreakers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, Lawbreakers was like, let's take movement shooters and crank it up. We'll give it this really metal aesthetic. And it just failed because A, it was kind of ahead of its time. And B, it just wasn't that polished, like where it needed to be. And
There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on in the
yeah,
game too.
exactly. And those games, like, we need games like that are willing to change up the game. But the thing is they need to be both creative and well executed. And if they're not well executed enough, then they're just gonna fail, and we're gonna have the next 10 years be dominated by the same fucking handful of games that have been dominating for the past 10 years. And I am getting less and less confident that something like that is possible, because I think that the games that are here now are so dominant because they came out at the perfect time where there was nothing else like it. You came in on the ground floor, and they were able to iterate on themselves before the competition made it out. And now, if you are a fresh new game coming out, you have to be original, which is hard. You have to
Pretty
be
tough.
well executed, which is hard. You have to have a lot of money, which is hard. And on top of all of that, you have to beat these games that have 10 years worth of updates. You have to beat these games that have been learning, iterating, upgrading, knocking out the kinks for a decade. And you have to come out swinging well enough to make it happen immediately. I think that
Yeah.
is a fucking moonshot. And honestly, I'm not so sure it's possible. The finals is like, I keep looking to the finals as like maybe one of the most pristine examples of something like this. And X Defiant maybe. Where they just came out and they did something like X Defiant's not different, but it is different in ways that matter. No SBMM is big. The finals is like very different. There's never been a game quite like the finals. And yet it's struggling. It's struggling terribly. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I look at games like Fragpunk or whatever it's called, and I'm like, you know what? That's a really cool idea. It's a cool concept. But do you really have what it takes to make a product that's going to go toe to toe with these other games and pull people away? And not just pull them away, because anyone can pull players away. It's a matter of keeping them away. You need to retain those people. And
Yeah.
that's the hard part. And I don't know, man. I don't know. You need the idea of ideas. You need the holy grail. You can't miss on anything, because you can have the greatest game of all time and it comes out and it needs another year of cooking, and you like early access it or something. And this game could be amazing a year later and it still wouldn't matter because you lost all your people during a bad patch in launch time or server issues and everyone dipped, and suddenly the game's dead and you'll never get those people back because their first impression is fucked up. And so I don't know, man.
One of
don't
my
know.
biggest things is that I've kind of just had in my head for a while is, especially when new developers kind of just throw their dicks out there and try to create
Damn.
like these fucking insane. Oh, this is gonna be the next best thing. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get these investors. Like my biggest thing when crack media first starts getting into games is gonna start small. Like we're not gonna. I'm not gonna fucking go out and be like, hey, I need $1 million from you, $1 million from you, $1 million from you, so we could possibly make this happen. Like, it's gonna be some shitty fucking mobile games for a while, building up some fucking revenue, starting from scratch. You know, just there need. I think there needs to be that progression there. Like,
Yeah.
you don't, especially coming in as like a semi new developer, you shouldn't just be fucking jumping the gun. Oh, I have this overly ambitious idea. I think it's gonna work, and when it doesn't, you're fucking even more screwed than you were before.
Yeah.
In order for these FPS titles to survive today, and it could be third-person shooters as well, I think that you need to have an aspect of the game that allows for solo players to frag out without the necessity of teammates.
Yeah.
And a lot of the shooters that are coming out now seem to be these hero shooter titles that are team-based games. And I mean, Overwatch, Paladins.
Yeah.
There's this other cool like anime style game called Sternova, where they literally take Overwatch maps and just kind of tweak them a little bit so it's not copying directly. But
You
in
know
all
if
these
that game's any
games,
good? I've seen a little bit of it, and I'm
it actually looks really cool. I mean, the fact that you can do you can like blend into a wall and climb it, kind of like an
yeah.
anime
I was
style.
watching a little bit of it just
I think
today, and I was like, this looks kind of sick.
Yeah, it's pretty badass actually. I'm gonna play when I get home. So these games have some way for you as an individual player to still frag out, even if your team is bad. You might not win, but you'll walk away saying, "I did my part."
I did my
And
part.
that kind of keeps people wanting to play more, in my opinion, right? Like, part of the reason why Call of Duty is still so successful is because these individual content creators who hop on, mute their mics, and don't talk to anyone they don't need to talk to anybody. I can hop in a Call of Duty game and go 50-0. Everyone else is 10-20, but doesn't matter because I fragged out. And I can post this online. People are gonna say that dude's badass, and the cycle continues. So if you, it doesn't matter how team-based your game is. If you have some way of allowing individual players to just hop on, go crazy, and feel good about themselves, they'll come back.
Yeah.
And the cycle continues.
Yo, speaking of third person though, who caught the Gears of War trailer?
Yo,
Or
the
trailer,
I somewhat did.
teaser, I should
Yeah,
say.
the teaser. Yeah.
But that was nostalgic.
It looks
as
great.
fuck.
I think it would be cool to play the campaign or maybe play horde mode with the boys. I'm not necessarily interested in wall bouncing or getting shit on by wall bouncers, so I just refuse to play multiplayer. But I think it'll be a great story, / co-op experience.
Bro, people who live and breathe the Gears of War multiplayer are
different breeds.
Fucking different people, man. Holy shit.
Like I love watching it. I think it's so like, oh, he did that. But there's no way I'm gonna get on and try to no, you got it. I'm over here just watching. I'm enjoying from a distance.
Well, even I saw somebody even on somebody said something on Twitter when that teaser dropped, like they straight up said like they didn't play the games themselves, but they remember back in the day when there were Gears of War commercials, back when like 2 and 3 were coming out, and they were just like it's such a nostalgic IP that they're they're probably gonna play it too because just because they saw that commercial like what 10 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no question people are going to want to play the game, right? It's classic. I mean, you and I played Gears 2 horde mode for hours at it, on internet times, just trying to not get sliced up by aliens. It was fun.
Oh my god, what was that other duo game we played?
Army of Two.
Army of Two.
Yeah,
Jesus.
they need to bring that shit back, bro. Army of Two was lit, bro.
Dude, Army of
Dude.
Two. I had a buddy, and we used to play fucking. Oh my god, we played it over and over and over, and every time I think there was like a second one that came out, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Yeah.
And fuck, we were all over it, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible shit.
They game was sick, bro. Cutting like you have one person to like literally suppress the enemy while the other person flanks and just kind of like play strategically. That was a great game. Great game. I don't know who developed that, but shout out to them.
It wasn't the best multiplayer, but it was decent.
He was decent. Yeah, he was decent.
I didn't do any of the multiplayer stuff. We just played the campaigns. We thought it was so sick.
Who developed that? I forgot.
Anybody in the chat know who developed Army of Two? Or you can just Google it, guys.
Yeah, somebody just Google it.
We're cool with that too.
I wanna say it was like some EA studio, but I could be wrong.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right.
EA
I think
Montreal.
it was an EA game.
EA
yeah.
Montreal, okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I remembered that. Jesus Christ.
Oh, there we go.
And then the sequel was Army of Two: The 40th Day, and then in 2013 there was The Devil's Cartel.
I don't think I touched that one.
I don't think we did either. I don't think we did. That was still a great game.
It looks like The Devil's Cartel was made by Visceral Games with some background work from
Oh yeah, because that was all the drama, I think, when they were like transferring it over more or less.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Visceral was the Dead Space studio.
Mm-hmm.
And that game was their second to last game.
Okay.
They made let's see. Dun, dun, dun. They had a Star Wars game they were working on. EA let go of. Oh, I see. So they made Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel, and then they had Battlefield Hardline.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then they were making
Jesus
a pirate themed
Christ.
game called Jamaica, which got canceled, but those were their last projects before that got closed out.
Battlefield Hardline. Jesus.
Yeah, what a time, man.
They tried.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried.
Holy shit.
You know, I mean, unfortunately, Battlefield just got, at that time especially, just overshadowed by Call of Duty, which might be a good segue because, for those who don't know, Black Ops 6, number 6, is going to be coming out this year. And like the big announcement was the fact that it's going to be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So if you have Xbox Game Pass, you're playing it for free. Well, essentially.
I got Game Pass. I'm in. Honestly, I'm really excited about not having to spend $70 because I'm gonna play that game for 2 months max, and then I'm not gonna touch it again until maybe the next one's getting ready to come out.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great idea to put it on Game Pass for that reason, right? The campaigns are still holding up. I think they're still pretty solid.
Yeah, I've been on the campaigns for the last 2 releases, and I have been impressed. They're not like the greatest thing. I think the one that just came out, Modern Warfare 3, I think that one was cool, but it was kind of ass compared to the one that came before it. Yeah.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2 was really good.
I think this open world shit they're doing is kind of lame. But so far I have not been unimpressed. You know, they've been hitting for me probably more than the multiplayer has. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Zombies is back, so you know. I mean, you already know
round base.
Zombies. Yeah, man, the round base zombies. Yeah. So you already know that community is they're gonna be excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's another year of Call of Duty. I'm not surprised. You know, as always, I'm eagerly anticipating it. But you know, the amount of time I'm gonna put into it, different story. So
yeah,
we're just waiting until that time comes.
We're gonna see.
Well, before we sign off, I know you want to fanboy over Metal Gear Solid.
Listen, I have 2 pairs of draws on today for this reason. Anybody who knows me knows like Metal Gear Solid is like that's daddy of all. And Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best Metal Gear Solid. Objectively, I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. So the fact that they're remastering Metal Gear Solid 3 is it, man. Like it is, I guess, from the way that from the little bit of footage that they showed, it seems like they're gonna kind of integrate the new movement style from Metal Gear Solid 5 into Snake Eater. So dude, I am so excited for this, man.
You think it's like the start of them remaking all of the Metal Gear games? Honestly, I think it has to be part of the plan, at least tentatively, because it's not Metal Gear Solid 3 anymore. It's Metal Gear Solid Delta. And I think that shows because anyone that's really about that Metal Gear shit knows that Metal Gear Solid 3 is the first in the series.
That's the first, exactly.
They know that that's where it all fucking starts. And so something tells me they're getting ready to like renumber the shit. They're gonna come out swinging and they're gonna kill it. And honestly, I love it. I was never a big fan of 3 growing up, but like I was the biggest fan of the original Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. That shit, I played it over and over with my dad. I mean, I can go back and play it now, and I feel like it's one of the few games that really holds up exactly like I think it does. It's fun. It feels good to play. The story's really interesting. Metal Gear Solid 2, you know, for when it came out, really beautiful game. I feel like it also still holds up. I can't wait till those get remade for sure.
Some of the best boss battles as well in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm excited. I hope it does happen. I really do hope it does. But like I don't know. I don't know. It could be that they're just remaking 3, but I don't know. The way that things are going, especially where we said, you know, people are in it for money, I think there's no way Konami is making this and changing the name up like that and not thinking, okay, well, when do we get to remake Metal Gear Solid then?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I see Music said that he actually met David Hayter, which is badass, brother. For those who don't know, David Hayter is the guy who voiced the OG Snake in, you know, the Shadow Moses, Metal Gear Solid. Also 2 and 3. So that's awesome. I would love to meet David Hayter.
Did they get him back for Delta? Well, I guess it's like.
That's a good question. I mean, I want to say he's done videos talking about the remaster. And from what I understand, like following him on social media, he's not going to talk about Metal Gear Solid if they're not rocking with him. Yeah. Because I know that he's back. Perfect. I know he was a little bit turned off when they switched to well, who's the guy that they replaced him with?
Kojima. They got rid of him for whoever.
Well, when they in Ground Zeroes, they switched to I can't remember his name. The guy who was in 24.
Oh fuck, I don't know.
Oh, whatever. So when they switched off of him, I know he was a little bit kind of like damn, you know, a little bit sour about that. So Keith Sutherland, thank you.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I know he wasn't really willing to talk much about it during that time. So the fact that he is talking about it now makes me feel hopeful that he's actually going to be, you know, more involved. So yeah, they got to bring him back, man. It's the right thing to do.
I agree. But he did say like he was pretty vocal about not wanting to come back with Kojima being gone. So I'm a little not concerned, but I'm confused that he is back. But I'm not mad about it. I will say that without Kojima being there, I am concerned that they're gonna take this and like miss the point because Kojima was obviously the fucking mastermind behind all of it. But also sometimes I feel like Kojima gets in his own way. Like I mean, look at Death Stranding. I don't care what anyone says. That game was ass cheeks. It was fucking cold diarrhea in a Dixie cup. It was terrible. It was absolutely fucking awful. It was like it did a lot of things that were really interesting and it paved the way, but it was a terrible fucking video game. And like I love Kojima. I think he's a visionary. I will always look at and play what he has, but he gets in his own way sometimes. So really, I think it could be good. And I'm really excited to see where Metal Gear goes. In fact, I kind of fell off Metal Gear as like 4 and 5 came out. Because I felt like they were just, I don't know, man. It was just a lot. And and I don't know. Maybe this is what Metal Gear needs. Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see, man. I'm excited for it. I'll be streaming it for sure. You already know it.
Hell yeah.
No
What's
question.
up?
I'm done. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone.
Hashtag cracked media game premieres. Make it a thing.
Damn.
Well, good stuff as always, man. As always.
We're gonna have to get some like streamers under the belt just to kind of get shit out there. You know, we need to get more people watching, man.
Okay.
We want to share our opinions.
Listen, the beautiful thing about progress is that it shouldn't be dependent on time. You know, it's dependent on us.
Straight up.
Just gotta, it's the one of the things I really enjoy about this particular podcast compared to the other two previously is that this one is still going, right? The consistency is the most important part. Without that, we might as well stop talking. So we just keep working, man. Just keep working. We keep having people in chat talking to us. I love it, by the way. I love all the comments. You know, every single episode. You guys are definitely part of the reason why I keep showing up for sure. We will keep working on a new tech. We will.
I was
Absolutely.
actually gonna ask you, are you and Apex still interested in doing the music thing? Coast to coast?
Well, definitely. I mean, we'd have to talk about it for sure.
Okay.
But I'm sure it would be a yes.
Because as you know, I do want to kind of expand, get that general blanket of entertainment out there, but I also don't want to like, especially like if you're going to be on two podcasts, I don't want to burn you out or anything like that, you know.
If you're asking me if I ever want to like have an hour where I can sit down and talk about music, the answer is 100%. You know, I mean, that is something.
I'm just making sure.
Like, yeah.
Because like
I mean,
I don't. I was like, obviously, I don't need to be on it, but like I'll produce it if you know that's what you guys want to do. Just focus, you know, again talking about music. Again, maybe we can get a duo, trio talking about movies, TV shows, you know, shit like that.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. I know there are some movie buffs out there.
Oh yeah.
That I really dig that. And so for anyone who's in chat, if you're in our Discord and you have these suggestions, these ideas or other topics besides gaming that you'd be down to kind of subscribe to.
I mean, that's the thing. The ideas
Drop a
are
dime,
here.
brother.
I just need the people to execute it, you know?
Okay.
So
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure.
yeah. If again, like think I said this either last episode or the episode before. It's again, the ideas are here. If you want to do it, I will help you to fucking do it.
Just do it.
Just fucking do it.
Do it.
Like even I think one thing I mentioned, you know, if you want to get into video editing, bro. If you really want to get into it, you really want to grind it out, I will show you how to fucking do it.
Word.
Like
all it costs is your soul. That's all it costs, bro. It's not a lot. Okay.
But yeah, with that said, if you're not in the Discord already, of course, join up. Thank you to everybody who's watching this on the actual Crack Meter website. You're definitely helping us out there. Of course, this is going to be on YouTube later in the week. What am I?
Billy's coming.
You're so nuts. As long as the soul is currency, you know. As long as it's
Billy is like Gecko Moria, just like taking other people's souls so you can Doing things in the world.
Damn.
Just Gecko
Damn,
morning,
bro. I'm fucking. Man, it's got the One Piece references. I'm here. I see you. I see you.
I'm making progress.
I know there's a fucking big group of people who want to fucking just
Talk about anime?
splurge about fucking anime, bro.
Yeah.
We'll get you a fucking podcast, dude.
Yeah.
Just tell me about it.
100%. We'll talk to Nico.
Next Wednesday we'll get back on side quest, of course. I'm trying to get kind of like a schedule for putting out our previous side quest episodes, just so they're kind of consistent in terms of like when we upload them. But we'll definitely be back next Wednesday. Again, join the Discord. Juice and Kyle's links in the chat. Catch him on Twitch, Twitter. Boom.
Twitcher.
Twitcher. That's a
Twitcher.
that's a new one. We're making it Twitcher. That's a fucking competition. But yeah. Anything else, guys?
Shout out to the chat, man. I love you guys.
Love y'all. Episode 27. Totally have everything set up right now. I'm not even.
Chat, we just back to next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.